On January 2nd at about 10:30 at night, we had hurricane-force winds and tornadoes that just ripped across from west to east across Daugherty County. We had tremendous damage to our infrastructure. You couldn't even drive up and down the roads. It was really pretty incredible.
It was so dark that you could see where your headlights stopped. There was no power. It was pitch black dark. Day broke and we had 32 square miles of damage is what the estimate was. 60% of our population was without power.
Then 20 days later, Mother Nature's a strange thing, and it just created this, no pun intended, the perfect storm for the right environment to produce an EF3 wedge tornado. It was 1.5 miles wide. It was on the ground for 70 miles. It stretched from county line to county line, destroying everything in its path. Unfortunately and sadly, it killed 5 people here in Daugherty County, and it was surreal. The January 2nd disaster was called by many to be the most underreported disaster in the history of the U.S. We had residents who were without power for 14 days. We had rain that was coming, and our first freeze for probably like 16 months. All of your problems start to snowball. It wasn't that we didn't have great people that were working very hard. We had a very complex problem that needed some additional help. Gary was, for 22 years, the Georgia Emergency Management Agency coordinator for South Georgia.
My good friend, the chairman of the county commission, felt comfortable calling me and said, "Joel, I think there's somebody at your hospital that I need to borrow."
I went right straight down there to the city emergency operations center and stayed there about 35 days.
He took away our learning curve on some things because he'd been there and done that, the old saying.
You had so many people doing so many different jobs that maybe some of the priorities weren't getting to the top as quickly as they needed to. And so I went in and I sat down with Chief Rowe and I said, "What do you want me to do?" And he pretty much just said, "Get us on track."
We were having some trouble getting the help that we needed from the federal level. Gary knew how to do that, and he knew how to organize it, and he knew it from the state perspective.
So when he came into our EOC, he was that liaison that was put in place, that he already had those relationships that we didn't necessarily have.
I still maintain a lot of my contacts with my state partners that I used to work with, and so I was able to make some calls to them, and we had some conversations, and really was able to kind of paint a picture to them of, I don't think y'all really understand how bad it is here.
So us having that asset here in the community, being able to plug it in seamlessly, helped us really collectively turn a bad situation around and start gaining ground on the disasters.
Gary was down at the city and county command center, but he certainly made sure he was able to sustain his commitments to us as well as the city and the county.
Most people understand that hospitals like ours are really mini cities. In any given day on our main campus, there may be 6,000, 7,000 people coming and going.
Even though I was on loan to the city and county, I still had a responsibility to Phoebe Putney.
He would come home and sleep and be gone again before it was daylight good.
He would work down there his entire shift, and he would come back here to the hospital multiple times for briefings or if there's anything developed that we needed him for.
There were so many different aspects of the planning going on, and it was going on here, it was going on at the city, it was going on at the county, and so we were all just trying to work together to make sure that we were as prepared as we could be for what was coming to us.
We started housing our employees who had had their homes without utilities or were damaged in some way. And Gary was very much a part of that.
We had a lot of our employees that were affected in both the first storm and the second storm. And so we were trying to take care of our own and not put that into the system that's already overloaded.
He knew he had responsibilities here, but he also knew that his community needed him.
What I saw is a community open their arms and welcome everyone in. And if there was a way to help anybody, you usually found somebody doing it.
Gary is like a very subtle hammer. You don't hear it pounding, but it's pounding away at a big, big problem.
He understands what servant leadership is. He supports everybody around him to make sure they try to be successful as they want to be.
He's just one of those people that create an aura of things are going to be all right.
Where a lot of people crack, Gary can just keep on going, and he's like, this too shall pass.
He is a true student of his profession.
Very capable, trustworthy, ethical.
He's a good guy, just basically a good guy.
This was an honor that shouldn't go to me. It should go to Phoebe Putney. It should go to our family here. To have this honor bestowed upon me is it's probably the highlight of my career.